Hi Jojo and Joel. Math 7-6, lesson 76. Whoa, we're getting meta with all those 7s and 6s. This is the first of several lessons that are going to talk about fractional parts. What I mean when we get going. We're going to dive right into the example, and what we're going to do is build a model of a diagram that we can use for problems like this. Here's our story. 3/4 of the 28 students in the class are boys. Make a sketch that illustrates this statement and then answer some questions. So first we're going to make the sketch. Okay, there are 28 students in the class. And we learned that 3/4 of them are boys. That's a lot of boys. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to draw a rectangle. I'm going to draw mine way bigger than you need to draw it, just because I want you to see it really clearly, so you don't have to draw it this big. Okay, we're going to divide it into 4 parts, because we want to be able to illustrate this fraction. So the denominator tells us how many parts. And instead of saying parts, I'm going to say boxes, okay? Because I drew literally boxes. So now we figure out, so step 1 was draw the boxes. And to use that, we use the denominator of the fraction we're given. Step 2 is to divide the total by the denominator. Sorry, it's so boring when I write it out in words, but this is the time when I think you'll benefit from it. You divide the total by the denominator and put that number in each box. This is the hashtag symbol that stands for number as well as how. Okay, so in our example, our total is 28 students. Our denominator is 4. So we can write 7 students in each box, okay? And then 3/4 are boys, so we identify 3 of the boxes, and we say these are the boys. Does that make sense? 3 of the 4 boxes. So we use the numerator find the special group, which in this case are boys. Special group. Okay. There are the rules. If you saw the way I put the numbers, you don't have to worry about the words. Okay, now John's got a bunch of questions he wants to ask us. A, into how many parts is the class divided? 4, because that's the denominator of the fraction. How many students are in each part? Okay, we figured that out. We took 28, we divided it by 4. That means 7 students are in each of these boxes. How many parts are boys? 3. And so we identified 3 of the boxes. How many boys are in the class? So we take 7 times 3 equals 21 boys in the class. There's an answer we don't have in our box, although we could easily figure it out. Write it right there as well. 21 boys. Okay, how many parts are girls? Oh, just 1, right? This is, I mean, assuming there are no chimpanzees, I guess they could be boys or girls too. Don't make it complicated. So we just have 1 part of girls, right? Because it must be 1/4 girls. If it's 3/4 boys. And how many girls are in the class? That means 7 girls in the class. Okay? The trickiest part is just setting it up. Once you get the diagram set up, then it's easy to answer the questions. These are the steps to properly setting the diagram up. Divide the total by the denominator, put that number in each box, and then identify that number of boxes as the special group. Okay? We'll be talking about these for a long time, and we'll be making more diagrams. There's another problem like this in the practice session. You draw the diagram and then you answer a bunch of questions, but you'll use your diagram to answer all of the questions. Let's just take a look at the practice problem. Because we just got to do one of those. 3/8, this is the practice. It's in the homework for lesson 76, and it's the practice. 3/8 of the 40 little engines could climb the hill. Oh, that was my mother's favorite book when she was a little girl, The Little Engine That Could, right? Okay, so how many boxes do we need? 8. So here's my diagram. Again, I'm making mine way bigger than we need to. 8. There's 4. I'm trying to make it even, roughly even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what number goes in each box? 40 divided by 8 equals 5. So 5 engines is represented in each one of my long and skinny boxes. You can test to make sure you did this right by just making sure these add up to 40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yay. And then we use the top of the fraction to determine our special group. So it says 3/8 of the 40 little engines could climb the hill. So these are the could climbers. And now our diagram is all set up. We see that there are 15 of them. So that also tells us that couldn't climb, assuming they split into one group or the other. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 couldn't climb. And if we wanted, we would know that was also 5/8, because 3/8 could climb. I'm going to write that here so that it's clear which group we were talking about in the first place. If 3/8 could climb, then that means 5/8 couldn't climb. And there are our boxes to show it. In the practice, then, there is A through F that ask you, do all problems for this practice set. It's super easy. Once you draw the diagram, you've done the hard part. And so it's just a question of quickly answering the questions, and they're all here in our work. Okay, make art, make cool boxes, have fun with the engines, and hopefully I will see you next Tuesday, face to face.